Hi, this is Charlie, and you're listening to Born to Watch.
Welcome to Born to Watch, where three old mates, an ex-video shop owner, an industry insider, and a black belt in 80s kung fu movies put their mastery to the test on movies that changed the world.
Hey there, fellow watchers. I'm Whitey, and here is another episode of Born to Watch. And we're keeping with the female-friendly fare. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. An amazing Amy Elliott Dunne epitomises this statement. To everyone, they were the perfect couple. Amazing, one might say. But you didn't have to scratch far below the surface to find the truth. This week we dissect with a sharp box cutter David Fincher's Gone Girl, starring Ben Affleck and Rosamund Pike. And let's meet the team. The G-Man sitting opposite me. How are you, mate?
Very good. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Morgs. Been a big week in the suburbs.
Has it?
Oh, mate, a lot of stuff going on. Very positive feedback from last week from the Kick-Ass Credit song. Yeah.
A lot of feedback.
Yeah. Few people coming in. Might be a regional tour up and happening. Yeah.
Very regional.
Very
Sub-regional. Sub-regional.
Yeah. No, Morgs used to be, Morgs has been, he's in the movie industry, but he used to be in a band back in the 90s. So Morgs is in the music industry as well.
Definitely. He's a triple threat.
Mate, he's a big bass player back then. I used to slap that bass a lot.
He slapped it.
Yeah. But, so look, Morgan want to hook me up with the Mountain Tambourine Senior Ladies Pennants Bowls team. Yeah, they're looking for someone for their 10-year reunion.
Yes, to go with the accordion player.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And Dan, up there on the land, how are you, mate?
Yes, big week on the land. Very dry up here on the land. I don't know what it's like down in the burbs, but we need at least 80, 90 points or it's going to be really difficult soil conditions for us on the ranch in the future. So we don't say millimetres up here, we say points. It's primary producer talk.
We got that.
Also had another wrong fuel in the work truck incident this week, but it wasn't me this time. It was a friend of the podcast, M. Head, who
not in the new car.
I was meant to be going to boxing with M. Head this evening, and instead I diverted to the servo next to Doonan Sand and Gravel, where M. Head and the new D-Max were parked on the side of the road with him sucking on a hose and spluttering. So, yeah, not as bad as my effort on the Mighty Triton, but still...
hang on a minute.
Yeah, a couple of... I know
what you're going to say. He's sucking on a hose. Where's the bloody fuel going?
Well, I don't know if there's any law enforcement authorities listening to the podcast, but we did try and get into a fuel canister, but then we just let it fucking spray into the car park because it was too hard. So, but we got it was very, very little fuel compared to when I ballsed up a few weeks ago. So, but yeah, anyway, it can happen to anyone, even a couple of guys from the land, salt of the earth, primary producers can balls up and stick the unleaded in the diesel tank. So, look, don't beat yourself up in the suburbs down there. I also had a bit of feedback on my MySpace page this week with fans wondering how many Noonas I participated in last week. So the tally currently sits
What's the over and unders?
Yeah,
What's the over and unders?
I'm
going to have it 4. I'm going to have 4 as over and unders.
Unders, yeah.
What are you going?
I'm going overs for sure.
I'm going unders, well unders.
Thank you. I know I do give off the waft of Mad Rooter, but it's a hard 0, and I'll keep you posted. But I'm hoping to increase that tally this week when the kids are back at school again. But yeah, good week on the land.
Excellent. All right. Well, if you want to support the podcast and help the show to grow, make sure you subscribe to us on all good podcast platforms and share to your friends. That's the important part. You can also find us on the social networks, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, MySpace, Yahoo Messenger, AOL, MSN. Feel free to reach out and join our burgeoning community. All right. Look, I was actually very surprised at how much I enjoyed last week's episode of Pretty Woman. Who would have thought that it took a romantic comedy to have me achieve all my goals of podcasting? But I tell you what, I think it was one of our better episodes. I know Dan even got involved quite heavily. But I think what tipped it over the edge was the greatest Kick-Ass Credit song ever committed to the pod. Now, look, this movie is adapted from the novel of Gillian Flynn of the same name. It was a blockbuster book, and Megan, my wife, had read it and was telling me all about it. I didn't understand what she was saying. I never read the book, and I actually steered clear of the movie for some time because it was one of those ones where she was telling me to watch it, so it must have been shit. When did you see the movie, boys? Yeah, we'll start with you.
I think I know this one. I was a lot the same with that because Chrissy read the book and was like, "This book's awesome. We got to see the movie. We got to see the movie." So I don't know exactly when we saw it, but we saw it not that long after it came out.
Yeah, at the movies. You saw it at the movies?
No, I don't think we were at the movie, so it must have been a little while
Yeah.
after. But I'm sure we watched it at home. But we definitely watched it straight away because she was right into it, and I was the same. I wasn't sure what it was going to be like, but yeah.
What about you, Dan?
Yeah, I like Megan. I read the book, so I knew all about it, and I must have seen the movie reasonably soon after it was released. Didn't go to the cinema, so would have seen it whenever it came out on whatever platforms were available to us in 2014. Probably Netflix at that stage, I guess. So but 2014, I had to shake myself and realise it still wasn't 2014. How can 2014 be 9 years ago? That's just crazy. So
It's crazy. Time's
certainly
definitely
gone
flies.
very quick. What were you cats up to in 2014? Anything that
I don't know, but
springs to
we'll
mind?
get to that. We'll get to that, Dan, when we do the 2014 year. I know you're trying to sneak in ahead of the game again, like you like to do, and make it a bit about you at this stage. But we've got a section where we talk about 2014, and we'll do it then. So a bit like Gow, I didn't see this at the movies, but Megan did go and see it, and I think I waited, and I actually probably watched it on my own, which was probably a good place to watch it. It was, I didn't see it at the movies, which is not like me, but I'm a bit disappointed that I didn't actually. I think it would have been a good one to see at the movies. Let's listen to the trailer.
Nick Dunne, you're probably the most hated man in America right now. Did you kill your wife, Nick?
Everyone told us marriage is hard work. Not for me and Nick.
As you all know, my wife, Amy Elliott Dunn, disappeared 3 days ago. I had nothing to do with the disappearance of my wife. I have nothing to hide.
Has Amy got friends we can talk to?
No, not really.
You don't know if she has friends, you don't know what she does all day, and you don't know your wife's blood type.
Just being a good guy, so everybody can see him being a good guy.
Well, you really don't like him, do you?
All I'm trying to do is be nice to the people who are volunteering to help find Amy.
I will practice believing my husband loves me, but I could be wrong.
You ever see that guy in the glasses before?
Amy is the kind of girl who attracts admirers.
Whoever took her is bound to bring her back.
I'm hoping you can tell me what this means.
Want to solve Amy's treasure hunt?
You seen this girl around here?
Yeah, I remember her.
I know you. I saw you at the volunteer center.
I wanted to help.
What'd she want?
She wanted a gun.
We are all scared, but we are all here now.
I feel like something to be jettisoned if necessary. I feel like I could disappear.
The hallmark of a sociopath is a lack of empathy.
Amy lost a lot of blood in there, and then somebody mopped it up.
Why do they mop up the blood if they're trying to stage a crime scene?
Whatever they found, I think it's safe to assume that it's very bad.
I'd finally realized I am frightened of my own husband.
I would show you, as if you're doing a deposition. What to say, what not to say.
A trained monkey?
A trained monkey who doesn't get lethal injections.
She's going to eat you alive.
You assaulted her?
It's not good enough for you?
I hit her?
It's not even close.
Absolutely not. I never touched her.
Finality, Nick is involved in the disappearance of our daughter.
Without a body, without a murder weapon, their only hope is a confession.
Don't know anything yet?
You need to tell me.
How was your marriage,
Are
Nick?
you asking me if I killed my wife?
Man of my dreams. This man of mine may kill me.
What about my son, Nick?
This man may kill me. In her own words,
This man may truly kill me.
You ever hear the expression, the simplest answer is often the correct one?
actually, I've never found that to be true.
Another David Fincher cracker there. Now we're going to set the over and unders at 9, considering it's one for every year. I already know by the look on Gow's face what his is going to be, but Gow, over under 9.
You need to set it at 1. No, I've seen it twice. Watched it when we first watched it, and I rewatched it for the podcast here, which was actually pretty good because I remembered vaguely of the story, but not all the twists and turns that are in it. So that was actually quite good because I didn't sort of understand what was going to happen. It sort of came back to me as the movie went on.
Well, I found that cool last week when I hadn't seen Pretty Woman for so long that I actually couldn't remember what was going on.
Yeah.
So and that is unusual, other than seeing something in the cinema. Dan, what about you? Over, under 9?
Under 9. No, I didn't. Would really enjoyed the rewatch, and a bit like Gow, I knew what was happening, but a couple of things still shocked me. So yeah, under 9 for me.
Yeah. Well, I'm over 9. I went on a bit of a run with this movie where it became my sort of easy one to turn on and just have on in the background. So I'd be over 9, but only just, maybe like 10 or 11. But I enjoyed it again. Rewatch it.
Yeah, a bit to unpack in this movie.
Yeah, there's a lot
Bit
to talk
unpack.
about.
Yeah.
There's a lot to talk about. So, Gow, why don't you tell us a bit about Gone Girl?
All right. With the tagline, "Was Nick Dunne lying?" On the occasion of his 5th wedding anniversary, Nick Dunne reports that his wife, Amy, has gone missing. Under pressure from the police and a growing media frenzy, Nick's portrait of a blissful union begins to crumble. Soon, his lies, deceits, and strange behavior have everyone asking the same dark question. Did Nick Dunne kill his wife?
Yeah. I got to say, there are so many questions about what's real and what's not real in this movie. About whether she's just a lunatic. And it gets proven that she is a lunatic. But all the way through, even on this one, I'm thinking, did this happen? Did this not happen? Is this true? Is this not true?
Well, there's the double layer there, right? Because he doesn't give away anything when she first goes missing and doesn't reveal half the story, and that sort of gets fleshed out.
Yeah.
And then we realize
Certainly does get fleshed out.
That's true.
Yeah.
But then we realize that, then it comes back with the other part of the story too. So we see what's happened in the background and how he's been manipulated.
I think it'll be quite good, Dan, because you can give us that eye from the novel, where I guess we get a lot more exposition from the novel you would, and learn a little bit more of that inner monologue
Was
that
it
goes on.
it true to it, to the novel, or was it different? I believe it was a little different.
No,
Yeah?
it obviously streamlined the plot. Gillian Flynn, the author, wrote the screenplay as well. So
Yeah.
worked with David Fincher on that, which was great. But no, it took out a couple of plot lines that we don't need to see anything about. Nick's parents, they're gone from the novel, but it is pretty much true to it. And they actually teased out Gillian Flynn and Fincher that they had made some major changes to it. I think probably to engage people that thought they'd read the book, because it was a phenomenal, the book. It sold a bazillion copies.
Yeah.
So I think to engage that audience that might have thought, oh, I've seen it, they got them along to the movies. But no, it was really, really close to it. And I think they did an excellent job in converting the novel to a screenplay without having to carve huge, great chunks out of it. It's only really missed a few minor plot lines that certainly didn't affect this screenplay. So no, overall, I think it's interesting, and it's probably something we should have looked at more. But when you do engage the author of the novel to write the screenplay, it can go very pear-shaped very quickly, because they're very, very different mediums. So working in the 2 hour time frame versus 500, 600, 700 pages with whatever you want to do and how much backstory you want to do, and it's definitely a different writing process. And there's very few novelists that make great screenwriters, and vice versa. So yeah, I can't remember what the fucking question was, but that's all I have to
covered
say
it quite
about this.
well. Well, there's been a couple. Like, there's been one, I guess, novelization to screenplay which springs to mind of an excellent nature, which was Mario Puzo's The Godfather. That was excellent. He wrote the screenplay for that. But then there's been many duds. And one I can think off the top of my head is Jaws, where they actually enlisted Peter Brenchley to try to write the screenplay, and it was awful. It was awful. So that was just written on the fly, essentially Jaws. So
wow,
you've got to be careful.
Yeah,
I think they're just too close to they're too close to it.
David Fincher did hundreds of hours of filmography on this movie, then cut it all down. I don't know if that's just his process or whether that's
500 hours he filmed.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's his process or whether that's just part of, they're trying to get the right story.
Yeah, it was 500 hours, and the production went for 3 weeks and 79 days.
It was 3 weeks and 79 days.
It averages about 5 hours of film a day, which is massive. Like, it's a huge commitment.
Yeah.
He pushed the actors to the limit.
I mean, that's up there with what Morgs does when he's working.
Absolutely.
Like workaholic.
5 hours a day. Definitely. All right, let's move into critical thinking. So this is a good one. IMDb rate this at 8.1 out of 10, and it actually ranks number 184 in the IMDb top 250.
Oh,
the tomato
wow.
meter has this certified fresh at 88%, and with an 87% audience score, it's a very well-rated movie. Now, we've got a couple reviews here. We've got one good one from Ryan Syrek from The Reader in 2018. Warning to newly engaged couples: do not see Gone Girl, a movie that makes marriage look like the Hunger Games with slightly more alleged sodomy. That's a good review. So the bad review from Rob Gonsalves of Rob's Movie Vault. The most loathsome movie I've seen in 28 years I've been reviewing films.
Wow.
Rob.
That's rough.
That is rough.
That's rough.
Rob's no fan.
What's Rob into?
I don't know. Not sodomy by the sounds of
No.
things. Not alleged sodomy.
No.
Yes.
Yeah, he prefers
actual. He prefers actual.
Don't we all?
All right, Gal, let's move into Ordinary People, where we talk about the cast and the crew and all things about this movie.
All right, here we go. We'll start off with the big star, Ben Affleck.
Affleck.
Affleck made his big introduction to feature films in '93 in Dazed and Confused.
Did he get his nickname of Big Ben Affleck after this movie and the shower scene at the end?
In Dazed and Confused?
I don't know.
Yeah, he was in Dazed and Confused. Yeah,
Yeah, no, I know he's Banyan in Dazed and Confused. I know about a shower scene. He gets paint tipped over him.
No,
by
shower scene in Gone Girl at the end of Gone Girl.
Right, okay.
Right.
Side dick.
Yes. He has got quite substantial side dick.
Maybe.
That'll come up
Jason Segel's got a big whizzer.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
He gets it out all the time.
Yeah.
He does.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Mind, yeah.
In the uncut version of Forgetting Sarah Marshall, Jason Segel gets his dick out like 6 times.
Yeah.
Yeah. He does Kevin Bacon's career in one movie.
He does. But yeah, Dazed and Confused and then he did those independent films, with Kevin Smith. So he did Mallrats, Chasing Amy in '97. And then obviously he was looking to get his screenplay done that him and Matt Damon had written, and they finally got that through to Miramax. Originally it went to Castle Rock. It was picked up by Castle Rock, but Castle Rock wouldn't give them the creative
control
that they wanted. And then Kevin Smith got involved, took to Miramax, and then they got it done. So
Yeah.
that obviously, really put them on the map.
Well, they won the Academy Award.
Yeah. Well,
Robin
nominated
Williams.
for 9 and
Yeah.
won 2.
Robin Williams won. They won for
Best original screenplay. Yeah. So then he went from that in '97 to Armageddon '98, Shakespeare in Love '98, Dogma '99, Boiler Room 2000, Reindeer Games 2000.
Terrible. Boiler Room's really good.
Boiler Room is unreal
Yeah,
movie.
really good.
Yeah, really, really good. But just so many big movies. Pearl Harbor 2001.
Mate, he's a jobber. He has had so many credits, and he's had 100 credits. It's crazy how much he's worked.
This is all in 3 or 4 years. The Sum of All Fears.
That's good. He plays Jack Ryan, young Jack Ryan.
Jiggly.
Could be the worst movie ever made.
Yes, I haven't seen
with
it.
his
'cause
now
I've
fiance.
heard-
With
yes,
his
'cause
now
I've heard it
fiance
so
again.
bad. Jersey Girl. He's just not that into you. The Town. I watched The Town.
Town's one of the greatest movies of all
2
time.
weeks ago.
Yeah.
Unreal.
So good.
Really, really good movie.
Yep, that's on the list.
And he wrote that, didn't he?
He did write and direct it.
Wrote and directed it. And then obviously 2012 Argo, which won Best Motion Picture, won the Oscar and a BAFTA.
Yep.
And he got Best Director in that as well. So, but then Gone Girl, and then obviously the Batman and Superman movies.
Terrible. He's a good Batman though.
Yeah, he's a good.
I think he's a good Batman, just in bad movies.
Yeah. The Accountant. Did you see The Accountant?
Yeah.
Bit.
It's not great.
Not great. Okay.
It's okay.
Bit of action. Live by Night.
Not good.
Didn't you like that?
Not really.
I didn't mind that.
No.
It's a bit different, isn't
Yeah.
it? Like it's a
That's
drama
the
period piece.
It's
yeah.
the old period piece where they've got the hats and shit.
Yeah, in the South in the 30s, whenever it was. But look, he's got Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom in 2023, The Flash, and Air. He's playing Phil Knight in Air.
Oh, is he Nike?
That's the one with Matt Damon and Jason Bateman. He's directing that. Yeah,
Right, cool.
so that's out this year.
That'll be a good story.
That'll be really good. Yeah.
Yeah. He's good. I like Ben Affleck. He's had his troubles.
Yeah.
He's got a massive phoenix tattoo on his back because it's like he's risen from the ashes again after he
Really?
Yeah, he's a mad alcoholic.
Yeah, he was, wasn't he? Yeah. Well, he went off the rails for a while there and
Yeah, he
got it back on. But yeah, look, he Brad Pitt was actually considered to play
There are heaps
this
of
role.
people considered for this role.
Oh, mate. John Hamm was seriously considered for it.
I think John Hamm would have been great.
John Hamm would have been good at this. Yeah.
I actually think he may have been better than Ben Affleck.
Well, he could have been.
Yeah. What about you, Morgs? You're a big John Hamm man.
Yeah, I was just having a little moment actually watching the movie in my head with John Hamm in it in the role. Yeah,
In
2014.
the shower scene. The shower scene.
You wouldn't have been able to do as good side dick as Affleck, but no, 2014. John Hamm was smack bang in the middle of Mad Men, which was prestige
That's why you had to
TV
turn
as
it
it
down.
gets. So
Yeah.
but I'm with you guys. I think that would have been, if not a better film, definitely an equal. John Hamm would have been excellent. Could have done the nuance. So what I really liked about Ben Affleck's performance, though, was that you brushed over it a bit, in looking at his filmography. But this guy fell off a cliff as far as like Geely and Jersey Girl, and he had some absolute shockingly bad films. And meanwhile, his private life was splashed all over the interwebs when he was his first time going around with J-Lo, and he just came across as a big tool bag. So he was stone cold there for some time. So it wasn't really until looking at probably coming out, and this film was probably one of the first that really started him back on the straight trajectory to back to the top of Hollywood. So I'll take a bit of a look into this in Film School for F-Wits this week. Where
you're right. Like the early noughts, he's no good, but then The Town, and then obviously Argo in 2012. That's where he started.
Gone Baby Gone. He directs Gone Baby Gone, which is a cracker.
That's right. No, he comes back strong. I mean, you could argue with the Batman, he's gone again. So it's definitely been a bit of a topsy-turvy ride for Ben Affleck. But no, this was definitely a great period for him, coming off the back of The Town and into Argo.
But interestingly, John Hamm was a top contender for the role of Batman in Batman vs Superman. A bit of sliding doors with those two.
Yeah. He's got the chin.
Yeah.
He's definitely got the chin.
But Ben Affleck directed him in The Town as well. So he was in that with him.
He plays the FBI agent.
Yes.
Real cock.
All right. Rosamund Pike made her feature film debut as Miranda Frost in Die Another Day in 2002.
The worst James Bond of all time. The one with the snow and the windsurfing, parachuting, surfing scene with Pierce Brosnan. It's horrendous.
Not good. No, she was only 23 when she made that one.
Yeah.
But look, Pride and Prejudice, 2005. Burning Palms in 2010, the autobiography of Whitey's life.
Right.
Wrath of the Titans, 2012. Jack Reacher, good movie.
Good movie. I watched that the other night.
Yeah.
Watched that the other night.
Yeah. Gone Girl, then the Negotiator.
Yep.
In 2014. 2018, I should say. Not
the Kevin Spacey, Samuel L. Jackson one.
Yes, the other one. And then she was in State of the Union, which was a TV series. She won an Emmy for that. 10 episodes she did of that.
She's a pretty good actress.
Yeah.
She's very good in this movie. She's got a very difficult part, I think.
Oh, well, she's got to play two different sort of characters, doesn't she?
Yeah.
She does that change really well.
Yeah, there's so much going on under the surface.
Yes.
She's very, very good.
But yeah, beat out Alicia Silverstone and Sophie Ellis-Bextor for the role in Die Another Day. And for this role, she beat out Natalie Portman, Charlize Theron, Emily Blunt, Olivia Wilde, and Reese Witherspoon, which we'll get to later.
Yeah, Reese Witherspoon held the rights, right?
Yeah, that's right.
This is where I think Reese Witherspoon went on a tear where she essentially held the rights for nearly every single book, because she holds the rights for so much stuff.
Well, that was it. Well, she wanted to play this role, and then she sat down with David Fincher and realised she probably wasn't the right person for this role.
I think they made a really good choice. I think it's good that they didn't go with someone like a Natalie Portman or someone with a high profile. I think it's good to have someone with it's a bit unknown.
Yeah, no, I think it worked well in this.
Yeah. She's good. I like her.
Neil Patrick Harris.
Barney Stinson.
Doogie
Say no
Howser.
more. Doogie, there
you go.
Two of the biggest pop icons in the last 40 years.
Yeah.
And he plays both of them.
Yep. But look, first movie was Clara's Heart with Whoopi Goldberg in 1988. He's a true triple threat, Neil Patrick Harris.
He's
stage actor,
he's
singer.
a quadruple threat.
Yeah.
He can do everything.
Yeah. He's very, very talented.
Yeah.
Magician. He's a magician as well.
Oh, mate.
He's got everything.
He's legendary.
Wait for it. But yeah, look, Starship Troopers in 97.
Oh, my God.
As the general.
When are we doing Starship Troopers?
Oh, cracking movie.
We've got to do that soon.
But yeah, A Million Ways to Die in the West.
Oh, mate, he sings that song about the moustache. You got to have a stash.
That's right.
Oh, my God. Seth MacFarlane is the man.
But yeah, look, there's a few other people in this movie. Obviously, Kim Dickens as Detective Boney.
She's amazing.
Yeah, she's really good in this movie.
Yeah, she's excellent.
She's been in quite a few movies. She was in Great Expectations.
She's a dropper.
98 with Ethan Hawke and Gwyneth Paltrow. Zero Effect with Bill Pullman and Ben Stiller. Mercury Rising.
Yep. That's Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis and Alec Baldwin.
Girls have penises and girls have vaginas and boys have penises. From Kindergarten Cop. That's the kid in Mercury Rising.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Boys have a penis and girls have a vagina.
But yeah, she was on Deadwood. Did a heap of stuff on Deadwood for 3 years. She's in The Blind Side, and then Fear the Walking Dead. She's done quite a few seasons of that as well.
She was in Tremor. She's been in heaps of stuff.
Yeah.
She's a good actor. She's excellent in this movie.
And then Carrie Coon, who played Margot Dunn, Ben Affleck's sister.
I really like Carrie Coon. I think she's another. And I'm not going to ruin it, but I think she's great in this movie as well.
She's really good.
Yeah.
She plays a pivotal part in the movie.
Yep.
But
she's the emotional core of the movie. I think she's the one.
Well, she's
the only one that shows emotion.
Well, really, yeah. But she's duped by her brother as well.
Yeah.
While still looking out for him.
Yeah.
But look, that was her first big movie in 2014. But then she's in another one in 2017 called Izzy Gets the Fuck Across Town.
Okay.
Yeah. Sounds like it could be a porno. But it's actually called A Woman at Rock Bottom Must Find Her Way Across Los Angeles in Order to Crash Her Ex-Boyfriend's Engagement Party.
Okay.
Gives you an idea of what that movie might be like.
Yeah, fair enough.
But she was in the third season of Fargo. That's the season with Ewan McGregor.
Yep. She's in The Sinner. She's excellent in The Sinner. She's in the new Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Yeah, she was in Afterlife. Yep.
She plays one of in the Avengers. She plays one of the Proximus, the Thor's or Thanos's henchwomen. She's so good. She's amazing.
Yeah. She's actually married to Tracy Letts. So he's Jack McKinney on Winning Time. Remember the coach?
Yeah.
That's
right.
her husband.
Okay. There you go.
But apart from that, look, we got Tyler Perry as well. Had a smaller role in this as Tanner Bolt, the lawyer.
He's good in this too.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
He's good for the role that he has.
He's more known for being a director of all black ensembles. The Medea.
Yep. All the Medea ones. There's heaps of them.
Dresses up as a woman all the time.
It's directed and produced so many of those.
He's one of the most, I think he's one of the richest or highest box office earners.
Yeah.
Because he's just done so many movies.
Yep. He's in Don't Look Up as well.
Very niche.
And
plays Alex Cross.
Yes, he played Alex Cross as well, yeah. And apart from that, just Emrata. Why do I know you'd want to bring her up?
Well, look, Emily Ratajkowski, it's her first acting go, and she steals everything.
Steals the movie for you?
Steals the movie. Yeah. This is it. And I know we'll probably get to it and listen to this, but she came very highly recommended by Ben Affleck.
She came highly recommended, yeah.
And if I was Ben Affleck, I'd be highly recommending her to David Fincher as well.
But yeah, anyway, that's the cast. We'll leave it there.
Yeah, no, you don't need to go any further. What about the box office, Gow? How did it go?
All right, here we go. So 167.7 million domestically for a total of 369 million worldwide on a $61 million budget.
Yeah.
So
it was a blockbuster.
Yeah. And mate, pull back a lot of money. I mean, that's huge.
I got to say, 2014 is a good year. Yeah, mate, it's not the best year, but it's a good year.
Well, here we go. And look, we've done some of I'll call this a later movie, but let's look at the top movies here. And grossing movies. Transformers: Age of Extinction, 1.1 billion.
Terrible.
The Hobbit: The Battle of the Five Armies, 940 million.
It's the best of a bad trilogy.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Amazing.
The Hunger Games.
Yeah, Mockingjay Part 1.
Yep. Maleficent, 758 million. X-Men: Days of Future Past, Captain America: The Winter Soldier, The Amazing Spider-Man 2. So
the first 9 movies in that year are all franchise movies. Yep. It's not until you get to Interstellar at number 10 is the first original script.
That's
Chris
right.
Nolan, brilliant, made nearly $700 million as like an original.
Well, Gone Girl was number 19, but American Sniper was up there too in number 13.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, really good movie. But look, for awards, Birdman got sort of scooped that year. Best Picture, Best Director, Best Original Screenplay. Eddie Redmayne got Best Actor for The Theory of Everything, the part about Stephen Hawking.
Stephen Hawking, yeah.
Julianne Moore got Best Actress for Still Alice. And yeah, that's really it. So look, that shows it all.
Yeah, good year. Some really good movies come out in 2014, like Edge of Tomorrow, which is one I think we're going to get to. Tom Cruise. It's a great movie. Finished just ahead of Gone Girl in the box office, which I don't know if it's a better movie than Gone Girl, but it's really good. If you haven't seen Edge of Tomorrow, get onto it. Okay. Anything for pop culture? What about you, Dan? What were you doing in 2014?
I thought it was still 2014 until I looked up this movie, but I was fairly heavily into my Nitro Circus career at that stage. So I was traveling in the world and getting into adventures with 80 or so of the biggest lunatics, action sport heavyweight hitters like myself going around. So that was interesting. Spent a lot of time in 2014 in the States and in Europe, just getting into adventures and shit. But I thought, for me, 2014, you mentioned movies, and I don't know that I agree with the first 10 that you mentioned in that 2014 because they were all franchise fucking movies that just made me snooze. But you did mention a few in there that were definitely good. But for television, I thought actually 2014 was quite a good year. So the original True Detective was released in 2014.
Yeah,
with,
that was good.
Great
Matthew
series.
McConaughey and Woody Harrelson. So, which was, and looking at the subsequent goes in at True Detective, which were pretty shite, that was bloody excellent. But other, like House of Cards was having a good run there. Did you guys get into BoJack Horseman?
Yeah, BoJack Horseman's funny.
Yeah, it's
really
worth
funny.
a look. Worth a look, F-Wits, if you haven't. Animated series. Will Arnett voices a washed-up horse actor. It's hard to explain, but check it out. Fargo, where Tim from The Office was starring in that Fargo at that time. Parks and Recreation was going strong. Do you guys get into The Leftovers?
No, not really. Carrie Coon stars in Leftovers.
Yeah, look, it's really
it's
another one. The book was outstanding, and it's really difficult because it's I don't want to spoil it because it is worth looking at if you come across it, F-Wits, but it's really hard to finish off that series well. So after setting it up, it's a bit like Lost. Remember Lost had everyone tantalized for 5 or 6 years, and the ending was just completely shit. It was all just a dream. Like, give me a break. Like, you've invested that much time and energy into watching a series, and then they just ham-fistedly finishing off. It's
It wasn't a dream. It wasn't a dream, but I think they were in purgatory.
Sorry, I meant they were in purgatory, but it was...
Yeah, but it's the same thing. It's the same thing.
It was a cop-out, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like,
it was. I was a ardent Lost follower.
Yeah.
And was on the edge of my seat for all the seasons, and got to the end and was like, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, really poor wind up. But anyway, what do you do?
Yeah.
But and then we talked about John Hamm, but Mad Men was very much into its into a really superb season in 2014. So I don't think I saw as many movies as you cats did in 2014, but I was certainly locked in heavily into several TV shows, and that took up a lot of my time.
There was a really good TV series which came out, which is from a book from Guillermo del Toro called The Strain. It was Guillermo del Toro and a guy called Chuck Hogan wrote a vampire trilogy called The Strain, and the series came out. It's not bad. The books are great.
Did you
like,
remember those books?
Vampire stuff?
Remember
the books
those
are
we really
excellent.
like that trilogy, the Passage trilogy.
Yeah, the Passage. Yeah.
Did they ever?
The third one was rough.
I didn't finish it. Did we?
Yeah, I didn't finish it.
Did it end up coming to the screen?
They made a TV series. They made a TV series with Zach from Saved by the Bell.
Oh my god!
I'm pretty sure it's him. Is the lead? But and it's not bad, but it's a shame. Like
first book was outstanding. Second book was good.
The Passage,
and then
was great.
Third book I couldn't finish. So
yeah, it was the Passage, and then was it the 12 or something? I don't know. But
the 12. That's right. Yeah.
The Passage is amazing. Great book.
Really,
I remember
really
you gave me that book to read.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So 2014.
Yeah. I got a bit of music culture, Morgan. I know you like the Aussie singles.
I do.
So I got you this for 2014. Number one. I'm going to go through a couple of songs here. Number one was "Happy" by Pharrell Williams.
Yeah.
Number two was "All About That Bass" by Meghan Trainor. Number three was "Shake It Off" by Taylor Swift.
Bloody hell!
The music's died.
It's done. The number four was "Geronimo" by Shepherd. I don't know what that is.
What is it?
Geronimo by Shepherd.
Say Geronimo. Say Geronimo.
Oh, is that?
Geronimo. They're from Brisbane.
Yeah, shit song.
And "Stay With Me" by Sam Smith was up there too.
Won't you Stay with me. I don't even know if that's the song.
I think it might be.
Oh.
Have you seen Sam Smith lately?
Yeah, he's really
He's in
skinny.
Australia.
isn't
He's been in Australia.
Yeah. Is he in Australia?
He's been doing some
He's been
concerts over the
licking
Christmas.
shitters to suck up a bit of viral infection so that he can shed a few kgs.
He needs to. You got any more, Gal? No. The music has died. Don McLean has announced it. It's all on. Okay, question time. Got a few here for you, actually. There's a bit to unpack. So, do we think that the end, well, this was always going to happen? Do you think this was the plan all along from Amy? Or was it just that him cheating tipped her over the edge?
Oh, you mean plan all along as in when she's married him? No, I think it's if that's the question, it's part of the movie because he obviously becomes disinterested in her, and then she knows that he's cheating.
Eventually, she does though. Only once he goes to Missouri does he cheat.
But I think that they're moving to Missouri. Everything's already falling apart, and then he basically said, "We're moving to Missouri."
But do you think she plans her death if he doesn't cheat?
I think I don't know.
She had form. She had form with Scoot McNairy.
Well, we've met
right.
Chip McNeely,
Scoot McNairy, the ex-boyfriend.
Yep.
You got
maybe look, but yeah.
What do you think, Dan? What's anything in the book?
They both presented this fictionalized version of each other when they met, and they played that game where they decided that they'd create the boyfriend role and the girlfriend role out of the two of them. And she became cool girl, and he came up to her level according to her. And so, no, I think that's what she bought into. And she thought, oh, okay, well, this is the role I'm going to play for the rest of my life. But no, when he found out, when he's lost his job and he started playing Xbox and buying laptops to laptop and nuzzling Emily Ratajkowski's carnage, I think that's when she decided, no, that's right, I've got form here. I'm going to concoct this and get the fuck out.
But she already had that underneath, right? But she did concoct it from there, but she was
sinister.
She was psycho before that. Yeah,
definitely. Okay, so the big question. I can almost forgive Nick for his moment of intimacy with the Mennonite on his sister's couch. But do you really fall asleep? Like, don't you just isn't it wham bam, thank you, ma'am? Couple times, push her out the door. Do you fall asleep nuzzling on the bed, on the lounge? How dumb is that?
Yeah, not good from him. Like, especially when you see what it's going to cost him.
Yeah.
He's trying to keep secret.
Yeah.
One of my favourite cringe-worthy moments is not long after that when his sister's getting stuck into him and she suggests that maybe they should have got a hotel room, and he says that Amy would have seen the charges on the credit card.
Yeah.
Why didn't you use hers? Because that goes straight to her parents.
Parents. Yeah.
Yes. Ooh.
Ooh. Yeah. She's so good.
Mate,
she's so good.
He's a fuckwit. Like he is, and there's I'll bring this up more in good, bad, and ugly. But yeah, he's a dipshit. Like it's
I agree. Yeah.
There's definitely a lot of character traits that yes, you would think that someone would be smart enough to move on your side piece before anyone woke up. But no, he's
so
not
dumb.
that right.
So dumb. Okay, so the money belt. So when she drops it, surely when she goes back to her room, she's splitting the money, she's hiding the money, she's not just carrying it on her. The people she's living with are dead shits, right? But surely you're not just having it on yourself. You know what's coming.
I thought the same thing. The only I gave her a bit of a pass on this because she didn't grow up anywhere in their world. So I think that she probably hadn't been exposed to people that were desperate like that.
Yeah.
That would come in and rob her blind. I think that's the only reason I would let her character get away with that. But yeah, any other normal fucking human on earth would have gone, righto, I'll leave $50 in there and the rest is getting chucked all around the room.
Yeah.
I think that once they knew she had the cash, even if she just hidden it somewhere, they're going to beat it out of her.
Yeah,
probably. So they come in with bad intentions, and I was thinking if she's hidden this, they're gonna belt her until she coughs it up.
Absolutely.
But she might have coughed up half of it. I want to get to the bad because I want to talk more about her money belt and the money.
Yeah,
when
for
we
sure.
get to bad.
Sorry, back to the boyfriend though, the co-robber of her in the cabin. Wasn't he the dude out of Narcos?
Yeah, Boyd
The blonde
Holbrook
dude?
is his name.
Yeah, he's
Boyd
awesome.
Holbrook. I like him. I think he is a superstar in the making. He just keeps getting into shit movies.
Yeah,
like he was
he's
in the new Predator. He seems to be. He was in Logan. He was excellent in Logan, but then he was in the new Predator, which he's good in it, but the movie's not great. I think if he's given the right vehicle, he could be a superstar. I really like Boyd Holbrook.
Yeah,
He's
so
great. Yeah.
There was also Patrick
Fugit.
the cop. Fugit, yeah,
Patrick Fugit
from Almost Famous.
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't recognise him.
Yeah.
Like he's growing up so
He
much.
hasn't
He was
done
great.
anything since.
It was,
Almost
it was
Famous.
it was a good role, wasn't?
Yeah, he was
not
very
a lot
good.
of meat,
He didn't
but
get
he was
much.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She
just
got she got more of
understated.
the.
Okay. Do you ever, if you're Ben Affleck, do you ever sleep properly again?
Oh no.
How do you go to sleep? I love when
is-
she comes home and he sits in the chair with the cat. I'm thinking that would be me every night of my life.
It's just one of the bits of the book and the movie that I really liked and it just shows that they're both fucked up narcissistic units. So he goes through all this shit, and yet it takes just the tiny bit of influence, and he's like, "Oh, okay, I'm going to hang around now." Like, yeah, he knows exactly that old mate died with a box cutter, and that other old mate was framed for rape and had to go on a sex offenders register for the rest of his life. Old Scoot McNeary. Yeah, it's. I think it's a really interesting part of the book, and definitely you're either in two schools in this. I think you think Amy's the fucking psychopath, or you think Affleck's the psychopath in the movie, and it's a bit of it's neck and neck for me.
They both get what they want in the end, which is fame and fortune, right? Essentially. So they want the fortune.
Well, see, I look as if he got stuck because she comes back and he's in a no-win sort of to go, well, I can't. He says he's going to tell everyone, and then she's like, "You're not going to do that."
Yeah,
he could have.
He had plenty of off ramps. He didn't want to get off. No.
Well, that's the thing.
He could have just walked and gone, "Yep, we're out. We're out." And she's back now, so everything he's done's irrelevant. He didn't kill her.
Well, that's right.
Move on.
He's gone then.
Yeah,
he's off the hook.
Yeah. Okay. Last question, because probably the most important one. Do we think Ben Affleck is a shower or a grower? Which one is he? Because I'm telling you, that side dick in the shower, if he's a grower, wow, J-Lo.
This has really got you intrigued, doesn't it?
It does. It blew me away. I hadn't really recognized it much until this watch.
Yeah, I didn't. It wasn't on my version. Or I
Really?
didn't see it. Yeah,
Either
I
you weren't
didn't-
looking.
No, I probably wasn't.
You're probably looking at Rosamund Pike.
Maybe I was.
I was just trying to make it interesting for later on when we do Morgan's Quickfire.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that if he was a grower, we would have heard rumors about him like we do about the other large King Brown actors in Hollywood.
Yeah,
so
Big Liam. Big
I
Liam.
think he's definitely been slapping that around a bit to get the blood flowing.
There was definitely some blood, not just on Rosamund Pike, that's for sure. Okay, now it's time to move into the categories, and now it is the good, the bad, and the ugly. We're going to start with the man on the land. Dan, what do you got for good?
Good. I've actually written down good for good. Rosamund Pike, Ben Affleck, David Fincher, Kim Dickens, Patrick Fugit, Tyler Perry, Gillian Flynn. The score, Trent Reznor and Atticus Finch, especially when old mate Doogie Howser gets killed with the Stanley knife. I really, really good parts of this. I thought that all of the talent were excellent. You singled out Kim Dickens earlier, and I totally agree. I've been a big fan of hers for a long time. Loved her in Treme, especially. I thought that everything was cast brilliantly, and particularly the score was good. So lots and lots of good for me.
Yep. What about you, J-Man?
Look, yeah, cast was really good. I like the double twist. We hit on it earlier. I did like the way they did that, where you're thinking Ben Affleck is the biggest dick in the world here, and all this stuff that he's done, he's coming unraveled, and then you realise that she's in on it. And the fact that they don't wait till the end of the movie, but then they twist it again when she comes back in. So I remember watching it the first time and thinking, wow, that's a good double turn in here. I quite like that. Some more stuff on that in bad, but
excellent.
But yeah, I did like that double twist.
Yeah, it's very clever.
And the way they handled it.
Yeah, I think Kim Dickens as Rhonda, and what a name, Detective Rhonda Boney.
Yeah,
good name. Carrie Coon as Margot Dunn are excellent.
Yep,
both of them for different reasons, but are excellent. And I agree, the whole cast is great, but I think they're standouts for me. I love the bit when Amy returns and they're in the hospital, and Boney looks at Nick and says, what do you think? And Affleck looks at him and goes, pals again. And she goes, well, yeah, now that I know you didn't kill your wife.
Yeah.
Right. I'm just like, that is so fucking good. So slick. Fincher is just incredible. This book must have been a nightmare to adapt with all the time changes, different perspectives. Must have been so difficult. And it's so seamless. What he does is so seamless. It's actually not difficult to follow, where it really could have been I think in less hands, you can get lost in the twists and the turns, but he's just so good and it's so subtle what he does.
I think that's it. You know, when they twist it, because halfway through they turned it, they go through Nick Dunne's side, and then they go to Amy's side, and that handles it really well. And I guess that's what I was getting at, because they turn that back and you go, oh, okay, I see all this stuff was going on behind the scenes that you didn't know about, that you're getting that second view of.
I had the score as well. Every Fincher movie, the score is next level great. I love the Sharon Sheba interview. I love the aftermath of that and the back and forth between Margot and Nick, where they're like slapping the high fives, and he's like, Amy brings that out in me, and she, I think that's really cool. I thought what was really good was that Tanner Bolt believed him from minute one, right? And maybe just because he's a lawyer and he's going to defend him and he wants to believe him, but straight away, there's no question about it. He's believing that his wife's a psychopath.
Oh, he went straight on TV and goes, he's got a case.
Yeah,
call me. Straight
away. I just love the return when he whispers, "You fucking bitch."
Yeah.
And seriously, Desi's Lake House, could it be the best house ever committed to cinema?
It's pretty good.
It is unbelievably good.
He had a lot of cameras up in that place.
A lot of cameras.
Yeah.
Mate, he's a freak, and we'll get to him later. Coming soon. Desi the freak. All right. Well, what about bad? And we'll start with you, Gow, seeing you're chomping at the bit. Hit me.
Yeah, a little bit, because I like the double twist, and this movie goes for 2.5 hours.
2:39.
2:39. And then the whole storyline at the end. So they spend all this time setting it up. They go through what Nick's done or allegedly done, and then what Amy's done. And we know that she's manipulated all of this. And then she gets back and the cops just believe her, and she says, yeah, this stuff happened. And
it wraps up fast.
And it just gets wrapped up. So we're 2.5 hours of movie, and it gets wrapped up in 10 minutes. And Boney's trying to throw a few points at there, and
that's great. I love that.
Yeah, and they all just go, no, she's done. And they didn't explore any of that, and everyone just took her story on word, and they didn't seem to go back and check Barney Stinson's house for.
But she only films the one scene where she pretends to be raped and then the camera and that, and it's I found that surely they go back and watch all the other stuff.
There's days of it, and he says to her, with the first day we got here, they would have seen her walk in. They would have seen that he wasn't there any of the other days, and she says that he kidnapped me straight away. Like, where was she for that? Like, all of that is just unexplained. So to me, it's just like they've spent so much time setting this up, and then they just covered over all of this so quickly.
Yeah, it does get wrapped up really fast.
It does. The other part of it was, and getting back to the money belt, what was her whole plan? Now, originally, I know that she said she's going to blame for all this. Then she's going to kill herself. I'm going to find myself washed up on a beach. And then she decides, no, you're in the wrong, and I'm going to make you pay. And why should I? And she decides not to. She takes the
she's winning because she's winning.
Because she's winning.
Yeah.
But she only had a few $1,000s in cash, however much she had in the money belt. And when they take that offer, she's like, that's it. Rings the ex-boyfriend.
But was Desi always the play?
Well, maybe.
So I think Desi might have always been the play. It was just brought forward. So I think that she was going to, he was next on the list, the lake house. She was going to kill him anyway, and sort of get or maybe just move on to the next and use him for his money or whatever. Because she's destitute. She got no money. Mum and Dad took the money.
Well, I know, but that's what I mean, because she took her name off the list and she had the money, and she was obviously going to keep that money until it ran out. And then I don't know what her plan was. She's plastered all over the TV everywhere, and she's going to try and somehow get back into society. So that was, to me, it was sort of not explained. And maybe that's what she was thinking of doing. But
I know that I'm pretty sure if I ever go into hiding, I'm going to have to do more than dye what little hair I have mousy brown, put a pair of glasses on, and wear a fat suit. The fat suit's bad. I've got the fat suit in bad. It's a bad fat suit. And she seems to put on, like, for her, probably 15 kilos overnight.
Yeah.
Just because she's eating cheeseburgers and chips in the car on one trip. She goes from being like a size 4 to a size 20.
Yeah, they kind of accelerated that part too. But yet again, one of the timing things that doesn't quite add up.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my bad.
Okay, what about you, Dan?
We mentioned it before, Affleck, how fucking dumb he was with a lot of his decisions. But the biggest fucking as if you would moment for Affleck was when he's out the front of the bar and he decides that would be a good idea to pash Andy with her
Unbelievable.
big carnage out the front of his bar. Like, it's a little town. He's known as the owner of the bar who's got a misso down the street. Like, yes, I mean, the guy's a dick, and the character's a dick, obviously. But that combined with his decision to let Andy sleep over were definitely proof that he wasn't the brightest of fiends.
But what about the smile at the vigil? Like, who smiles?
Yeah.
When they're getting your photo taken in front of your missing wife's photo, like, you don't smile, and then you don't take a selfie with some low-hanging fruit cougar that's obviously just after a bit of side dick and to cook her in a lasagna. And then he's trying to, I want it back. Sorry, mate, you can't put the fart back in the ass once you've let it go. Like, you're done.
And hence the debate: who's the biggest knob in this movie? Is it Amy or is it Nick? It's agreed.
It's a healthy debate.
That's my bad.
Okay, I've got Desi in general. Okay, he's a needy fuck. I'm not going to pressure you, right? She's gone through all this stuff, and on night one, he's like, "I'm not going to pressure you, but you've come back to me. Chill, Desi, chill."
Yeah, he was creepy weird.
He was creepy weird, right? Then, when the play's on and she's like within 3 days and she's back to herself, what will make you feel better is dyeing your hair back, becoming who you were, the person that I remember, right? When she says, let's go to Greece, and he says octopus and Scrabble, I want to reach through the television and headbutt him to death. They are not the two things I'm thinking about. When a 10 is going to me, let's go to Greece, I'm not thinking octopus and Scrabble. I'm not thinking about talking about opera and all these sonatas. No, I'm thinking about the world-class vagina. Desi is the pits.
Yeah, Desi sucks.
Desi sucks. Okay,
yeah, a very small role, but a very odd character. Not much development there, is it? So you just. Did they say much earlier in the movie about him and his weird?
No, they just talk about how she broke up with him, and he sort of went a bit psycho and was sending him, the art of letter writing. We've not forgotten the art of letter writing. No, that's because you're a dick, Desi. Yeah. You're a stalker.
I do like a bit of the pretentiousness. It's it does strike a chord, but yeah.
When they first come in the house, he picks up the iPad and he's like, Netflix. And I'm like, shut up, Desi.
Yeah. He's an all-time pad.
I love the lake house. Yeah, he's worth a box cutter for that lake house. I'll give you the tip. Okay, I'm going straight into ugly because I've just mentioned it before. Yep. And although Amy may have a world-class vagina, she's hard work.
She's massively hard work.
She's hard work. The treasure hunts, that's not romance. That's a pain in the ass. That really is. Just give me my fucking presents. Right? No wonder he's got the shits, because everything seems to be this elaborate fake act.
But that's it, as Morg said, that's the parts they're playing. Like, we're not going to, they kept saying it, we're not going to be those people. I'm not going to be that person, am I? Like, yeah, that's the part she's playing. Yeah, and so when she's living that life.
Yeah, I just want to punch us in the face. Well, mate, me too, Amy. Yeah. I want to punch in the face too. All right, Gag, got anything for ugly?
No, we've covered pretty much everything for me.
I got one. Yeah, I got one. So it might. You mentioned this earlier, but so Affleck's sitting there. Finch has called him into a script reading, and he's reading through this, and he's thinking, Andy, right? And the script says, Nuzzles big cans on couch, and he's like, David, I know just the person for this role. Like, what a freak Ben Affleck is to suggest Emily Ratajkowski for this role, and she looks young in this film.
She's young. She's young in this.
Super young. Super creepy Ben Affleck. Shame on you, Ben Affleck.
Yeah, Dave-o, hey, Davey, go and watch Alan Thicke's son's song, Blurred Lines, which is the most unwoke cancel culture
you want it
film clip ever recorded in the history of film clips. And I reckon the bird with the huge cans and the long brown hair would be perfect for Andy.
Can she act, Ben? Oh, fuck knows.
Who cares? All she's got to do is flop those whoppers out.
Cans out.
Oh, mate, yeah, pretty ugly, but I mean, a good result on screen.
So she was born in 91.
Wowzers.
Well, there you go. She's 23.
She's 23.
I did that quick.
It was quick. You've come a long way.
I've come a long way.
Oh.
39 episodes. It's taken for that. 39 episodes. All right. Well, I think that's enough. Now we're going to move into Morgs's quick fire.
What, are we
Take it
going
away, Dan.
to do lick outs this week or what?
We'll get to them.
Oh, God. There's so many rules. Remember we said this would be the summer we didn't have rules? Quick fire F weeks. This is where we go through a few categories and just riff off the top of our heads. The first one is the scene that is most like, or is anything like, That's Not a Knife from the wonderful Crocodile Dundee that may have crossed over into popular culture. Anything from this that we would repeat or that you would notice? I'm going to say nothing for me that
Nothing
stood
for
out.
me.
Yeah, Gow?
Nothing.
Nothing really that sort of crosses that.
Not at all. It's blank for me. There's nothing. And that's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Agreed. I think next category, we changed the name from last week, but I can't think what Constanza's name is in Pretty Woman.
Oh, Phil Stuckey.
Phil Stuckey. So the Phil Stuckey Award for the biggest douchebag in the film. So, Desi definitely is up there for me. Yeah. Affleck.
The neighbour.
Amy.
The neighbour.
The neighbour.
Yeah,
there's
plenty of them.
There's a few
definite
dicks.
douches in there. But, for me, I think it's Desi.
It's got to be Desi, surely. Yeah. He's bad on so many levels.
Agreed. The cast of Caddyshack for actor or actors that think they're in another movie. I think Desi, Doogie Howser was definitely, Neil Patrick Harris was a strange choice for this role, but it kind of works because we're discussing him as quite the dick, and he could be a character that you feel sorry for because he did get box cut in the throat, but instead we don't because he's pretty peculiar and pretentious and just a bit of a knob. So, but he feels like he's in the right movie, though. I don't think there's anyone that I feel like that tonally everyone seems to be aligned in this as far as the cast.
I think that the neighbours, she's out of a depth. I think.
Yeah.
I think that they could have got. I know she's actually quite a pivotal part because she's Amy's voice from the grave, right? But I think she's a little out of a depth against everyone else who's crushing it.
Yeah.
You mean as an actor?
As an actor, I just think she's a little out of a depth. But as for being in a different movie, maybe not.
No.
I just think she's out. She's the one that feels the most out of a depth.
Yep.
Like when you've got Scoot McNairy, who's a quality actor playing in a 5-minute scene and sort of tears the house down.
Yeah.
And then the other sort of, she's just a bit out. But anyway.
Okay.
Good-o, don't disagree. Ripley Running, based on Sigourney Weaver's pivotal role in Aliens, where she can't run for shit. Any other poor show of athletic prowess in Gone Girl?
Mini golf, and it's not Amy because she gets the hole in one, then drops the money belt.
Yeah,
but it's Boyd Holbrook's terrible swing with the putter behind as she's going to get the ball out of the hole, and he's taking a swing. It's terrible.
Old Boyd
it's not out of place in Caddyshack.
He was a theatre kid for sure. He
was definitely. He's not a sportsman.
Wasn't on the golf team. No, really good spot there. Well done, Gow. Anyone else?
No, that's it.
Good stuff.
Don't have that.
Robot Sentries again from the amazing Aliens director's cut for a scene that you'd love to see in a director's cut of this film that maybe explained a bit more. Whitey, you touched on it a bit earlier. I think that the final third of the film really is rushed, and that's probably on reflection. One thing from the book, which isn't as paramount, is that they don't have to rush it because they've got the beauty of you just following along on the page. But was there anything that you didn't know about that you wanted to know more about?
I would have liked them to have done a little bit more on Desi, as we talked about, just to understand that weird character, because he just comes back into it and is just really odd, off, creepy sort of guy.
They could have explained that away a bit more because
that's what I mean.
Her parents talk about him a little bit, but they probably could have gone a bit deeper with that.
I think they needed to. They had a lot of time in there.
For sure. The only other thing I think it would have helped was more Emrata. It's a bit dark. I think the lighting could have been a bit better, Dave. A little bit more Emrata.
Excellent. Well done.
Yeah. That leads me into the next one.
Finally, Whitey's Brad Pitt for the actor or actors in the movie that you would most want to have a nooner with. Now, I'm going to take Emily Ratajkowski out of the voting for this one. So anyone else that really came across as someone you might like to hit the strike of midday with?
Even though I'm intrigued by Big Ben, I'm going to steer clear of him because it sort of makes me quake in my boots a little bit. I'd give Amy a go. I think she's a good-looking woman. You know. Although there doesn't seem to be such thing as a one-night stand with Amy. Is she worth the throat slit? Maybe not.
Don't know. She's crazy. What about the cop? What about Detective Boney?
I'd probably go before the cop.
The sister?
Yeah.
So I didn't mention this before, but we talked about it midweek. Doesn't Go look like the Australian actor Anna Torv, who's
Anna Torv from Last of Us.
Just popped up in The Last of Us and was also in Mindhunter and is a fantastic Aussie
Fringe.
actor.
She's in Fringe as well.
But
Yeah,
looks
she's great.
remarkably like Carrie Coon.
Definitely.
Yes.
100%.
But yeah, good call. I think that there's definitely some good-looking humans on both sides of the spectrum in Gone Girl. So yeah, plenty of Whitey's appreciative glances, especially Benny's side dick. So good stuff, boys. Thank you. That's quick.
Okay, well done, Dan. Another cracking segment. Now we're going to move into Gow's favourite of the night. Listen to this.
Well, what is that?
That's the hourly dong.
Take it away, Gow.
Am I up?
You're up.
Straight away.
Where are you going to start?
Oh, look, I had a couple of things here, but we already sort of covered Reese Witherspoon, and she had the rights to the movie, and then was going to star in it, but realised she wasn't the right person. The bar restaurant, after this movie, that became a real restaurant, and is still there in Missouri. So obviously gained a bit of notoriety or a bit of acclaim out of this, but yeah, that's still a restaurant exactly on the spot where it was. Another quick one was that the character of Nick was supposed to wear a Yankees cap in one scene, but Ben Affleck is a Red Sox fan and refused to wear it, so they had to compromise on a Mets cap. That's the closest he could get him.
Yeah. Well, and I've got to go back to old Side Dick, but this was Ben Affleck's first full frontal nude scene, and Fincher demanded that it happen. He said, "Nah, you've got to get it out. It's going to show you vulnerability, and there can be no secrets." So he was like, "Yeah, whatever," and you can understand. He spent a few minutes in the trailer before moving up the staircase. He was in the cat's bedroom first. So it's just like it was
with the fluffer.
It was like after a game of footy. You got a bit of footy dick. You just need to get a bit of blood back into it before you have the shower.
I think did we talk about this a few eps back? Ice hockey dick is the worst dick of all of them.
It'd have to be.
It'd have to be. Yeah, I may have told this story previously, but me and Gow on our travels, Gow, I remember when we were in Canada and we played ice hockey with the Williams-Lager Rustlers that night, and you and I had been practicing, so we thought we were pretty good. Well, at least we weren't complete muppets on the ice, but unfortunately we spent the evening drinking like fish before we got on the ice and just made complete canuts of ourselves. But after the game, I remember just stripping off in the change room as everyone did, and the stench from all the hockey gear was just like, it was footy times 100. But I remember nuding up because I was so drunk and I was quite fine, and looking down, and there was this little thumbprint staring back up at me. And Morley Wilson looked at me in the eye and then looked down at my cock. And it was like George Costanza in Seinfeld. I was like, no, this isn't it. It was horrendous. It was like a belly button. It was horrendous.
It was the mushroom from Hangover too.
So, yes. Anyway, ice hockey dick.
It was okay. Well, you spent a lot of that summer nude anyway. So.
I did. Oh, they were good times.
That was just in response to the hockey dick, just to show that it actually wasn't that.
Hey, guys.
Look, guys, it's not like that. Hey, guys, look at this.
Oh, gee, money.
Okay, so apparently at David Fincher's request, Rosamund Pike and Neil Patrick Harris spent 2 hours locked away rehearsing the sex scene on their own.
Yeah.
With the clothes, with no one else. So they didn't know what was.
Well, I mean, you love the score as much as I do, but that music when that scene is on, oh my God. Yeah. Trent Reznor, Atticus Finch, Gow, you could have been Atticus Finch. Like, you could have gone on to that sort of greatness if you hadn't chosen the path that you chose instead. Like, music was your life there for the summer of, 89, 90?
Yeah. Well, that's when I went back and, really got back into my music. But you're right, Morgs. I mean, I've been called the Bernie Taupin of my generation.
You have.
I think.
You have, by Morgs. by Morgs.
Yes, F.
So on
Sorry, you go.
No, you go.
No. I was just,
okay, so just keeping the musical theme that Ben Affleck was mad on set and would just constantly be singing 80s songs.
Yep.
So Tyler Perry decided to have a bit of a championship and would just start singing songs and to see whether Ben Affleck could chime in and finish them off. And he finished every single song that Tyler Perry ever started.
Affleck?
Even Broadway, everything. Affleck's a pop culture demon.
And he's also he's a theatre kid as well. Like he looks like a big, brawny dude, but no, he's actually he's a theatre kid at heart.
Mate,
so
he loves his 80s songs. We're going to get BBA on here. He'd love to be on here. He could sing some 80s songs with us.
I think we're going to call
Whitey could confirm or deny.
Absolutely.
I'll be asking status.
I'll be asking to see. That's going to be entry.
Can I double take?
Yeah. Show us your ticket. That's the ticket. Anything else for listening to this gear?
No, that's it.
Okay, let's roll on. 1 Degree. I've got nothing. No one. I couldn't find anything. And I know you two wouldn't have looked.
I thought about it. No, I go through the cast, but I can't find anyone there.
I like the Quigley Down Under one better than the Kurt Russell one. Or rather,
and there's there's no Quigley. There's no 1 Degree of Quigley.
What a fizzer.
Unless David Fincher was the best bar grip on Quigley Down Under.
So Fincher actually had an interesting.
The best bar grip.
He did start in Industrial Light and Magic, working on Spielberg flicks and with George Lucas back in 1983. So it is likely that he may have come across some of them tangentially via Industrial Light and Magic, but then he moved into video clips and then he became Fincher. So there you go.
Did the motels and all of that in the video clips, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Massive video music producer.
Okay, so moving into quotables, there's not a heap there. Like, to be honest, there is. There's a lot of
there's some excellent writing, but there's none
passages.
There's none that that is dropping into our weekly calls on each other or have ever referenced out of this movie. Not one.
There's none that I've referenced, but there are two which I particularly enjoyed, and one's Tanner Bolt. I swear, you two are the most fucked up people I've ever known, and I specialize in fucked up.
I had two. That was one of them. See if we got the other one.
Okay, so my next one is Margot Dunn. Whoever took is bound to bring her back.
No, my one was also Margot Dunn, but it was that. But my one was, everyone knows that complicated is a code word for bitch.
I was going to have that, but I liked whoever took her is bound to bring her back just a little bit more.
That's a great character. She's awesome.
She's excellent. Yeah. She's so good.
So she was only 30 at the film. So there's a 9-year age difference between her and Affleck. Affleck, to counterbalance that, actually played his character younger in the film. So,
younger.
Which I thought was interesting. But yeah, I think she was cast brilliantly. I think she was fantastic.
Well, she's relatively late to the scene too. Like she's only a few years really into her career.
Right.
Oh yeah.
She's not very far into her career when she hits Gone Girl. She started late. I'm tipping maybe 27, 26.
Yeah, wow. Awesome.
Yeah, she's amazing.
No, she was. Yeah, this was her first big movie.
Yeah.
And she hadn't done a lot before
she hadn't
that.
done much before.
When I looked it up, she hadn't done a lot of things.
Okay, let's move into Dan's favourite segment, Film School for F-Wits.
Yes, F-Wits. The G-Man, he touched on it earlier, that when he went through Affleck's filmography, he probably didn't pause just to realise how stone cold our mate Ben was there for a moment, which got me thinking about the biggest comebacks in Hollywood history, or definitely of recent times. So I've got 3 actors, including Benny Boy, that I want to look at that went super ice cold and took a bit of a risk, actually, that they wouldn't come back, but managed to climb back up to the pinnacle of Hollywood. And the first one we mentioned a little early, but is Mr. All Right, Matthew McConaughey. So the McConaissance, which has become a bit of a comic aside lately as to how prevalent Matthew McConaughey's become over the last sort of decade. But he was a rom-com guy for a long time in shitty movies with Kate Hudson. Kate Hudson, that's what I'm trying to think of.
10 Things I Hate About You.
All those crappy. So he decided he was over it. He was getting was scripts for rom-coms. And so in the late sort of noughties and early 2010s, he thought he'd take on some more interesting roles. So that culminated in winning an Oscar for Dallas Buyers Club. So he definitely made the right choice. But he said at the time that taking a year and a half off and saying no to things in some form or fashion made me a new good idea, he recalled. So he really played the game. He thought, okay, everyone is pigeonholing me in these rom-com roles. So you can think in something as fickle as Hollywood, though, where you really need to keep working and stay in front of
Huge
everyone.
risk.
Massive risk. So he's got to be praised for bringing on the reconnaissance. And we talked about True Detective, but I can't stress enough how amazing that was in 2014 when True Detective came off, because movie stars weren't doing a lot of television at that time. So it was about the same time that House of Cards came out, another Fincher joint, by the way, and you were really starting to see premium Hollywood film actors move into premium TV roles. So this, to have Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey and who's the chick from Baywatch, Alessandro, what's her name?
Alexandra Paul.
No. In True.
Alexandra Daddario, the greatest. The greatest 5 minutes of TV in the history of TV.
So I think she even outs Radajowski. So
100%.
Yeah. So that was. But anyway, True Detective. If you have,
our great fan Craig Plim has never been the same.
No, and it's one of the things I do. One of the very few things I do agree with Plim's on. But excellent role for her. But yeah, look, he's gone on to do some amazing stuff, and just in bit roles too. So you think about The Wolf of Wall Street. He's only on screen for 4 minutes, and he's still one of the most memorable parts about that film. So it says a lot to these guys that talent will prevail, but it's a huge, huge risk to say, no, this isn't the freeway I want to be heading down as the rom-com guy, and to come back and make it happen. So yeah, look, he's up there. I reckon Matthew McConaughey is the bigger. I mean, there's other actors that I won't dive into, but Michael Keaton was similar. He went super cold, but then came back in a big way, I guess, for Birdman, which Gow talked about earlier, which swept the Oscars in 2014. But yeah, he was super cold there in the wild, but since has done Spotlight, and he was in one of your Spider-Man movies too, wasn't he, Whitey?
Yeah, he was in Homecoming.
Yeah, Homecoming, and he's done more Tim Burton flicks, reunited with those guys, and he's
going to be he's being Batman in the new Flash.
That's right,
movie, which will be out next year.
Yeah, so look, he certainly couldn't. He didn't parlay his 90s or 80s and 90s success into anything really in the noughties, but came back in a huge way after Birdman. Patricia Arquette was she was a huge 90s star too. That kind of fell off the radar, but came back huge for Boyhood, which we talked about. Richard Linklater's 12-year filming bit that was just incredible. So since being in Toy Story 4 and a lot of, she won an Emmy in the television drama The React and a Golden Globe for Escape at Dannemora. So she's someone that's come on, but again, I wouldn't class her as huge. Mickey Rourke is another one that was obviously massive in the 80s. Went on a massive hiatus and then come back with The Wrestler, which kind of had his second act or even third act in Hollywood. But I guess the only two that really compete with McConaughey and Affleck, or the only one who really competes, or the three of them, would be that I would loop together would be McConaughey, Ben Affleck, and John Travolta. They're the three that I reckon have probably seen the heights of Hollywood and then become completely irrelevant almost overnight, and then come back so strong that it's just incredible that their talent was re-recognised. And I guess with Travolta, we know that it was Quentin Tarantino that picked him up in Pulp Fiction, but then he just went on to do some awesome shit with Face Off and Get Shorty and
he had an incredible 10 years.
Mate, he just went from absolute nowhere to.
But he wasn't even wanted on Pulp Fiction.
No, it was going to be Michael Madsen.
Yeah, but Harvey Weinstein wouldn't sign off on him, and it almost got shelved. And it was only that Quentin Tarantino actually said, "No, we're not doing it without him." That they had a staring comp, and in the end, Weinstein backed down because he thought he was going to lose the movie. That's how close Travolta was to not getting that. Like, he didn't want him at all.
Yeah.
Incredible. So sliding door moment there for him, but obviously proven.
Mate, what about Robert Downey Jr.? He was a star in the late 80s.
I didn't include him just because I think he's been. It was more. He only went cold because he was just such a substance abuse fiend. It was more.
He was in jail.
Yeah, Hollywood couldn't trust him. That was the producers didn't want to put him in their films because they thought he would end up in the gutter or in jail. So I don't think Hollywood ever forgot about his talent, and they always
he's talented.
Always thought he was incredible. But yeah, no, look, it's a really good point. He definitely had a moment there where he was forced away from the from film because he was in prison. But the roles came straight away as soon as he was available again with Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. And
did you say earlier? Did you say Neil Patrick Harris?
Yeah, look,
because he kind of did too. Because after Doogie, he struggled. He struggled to make the jump to male actor or to
and you said it,
adult actor.
He's a quadruple threat. Like this guy is he's a director, he's a singer, he's an actor, he's a dancer. He's just incredible. And he did a lot on stage. So he's won numerous Tony Awards for his performance. So look, I think that again, yes, he went super cold, maybe on celluloid, but he had that backup of being an incredible theatre star and musical theatre star. So that's again why I didn't jump onto him. But Affleck, just to round it off, we touched on it, but yeah, he went from the incredible heights of Good Will Hunting and being in that new sort of Brat Pack with Days of Confused and a string of sort of early Hollywood, the newcomers that were around, I guess, at a similar age to us. So it was around that sort of 91, 92, 93 that we were introduced to Affleck. And then he, obviously, Good Will Hunting sent him to the stratosphere. And then, unlike Matt Damon, he went for the cash. He just went into Blockbuster City and just thought, Pearl Harbor, Armageddon, I'm having some of that massive cashola. And then got a little bit too cute. And then basically went Daredevil, Jersey Girl, Geely, which was just flop, mega flop. And combined with his presence with J-Lo in the tabloids as their combined namesake that were the absolute, you couldn't turn on a computer or jump into New Weekly at the time at Sloane's house without seeing Ben Affleck and J-Lo on the front cover. So, yeah, it went super cold, and it took his talent to rise through as a writer, as a director, as an actor to come back. And I think that at the early 2010s when he did The Town, he did Gone Baby Gone with his brother, which was awesome, and then as far as Argo, just took him again to the stratosphere. And since then, unfortunately, it's only been him as a good actor in the Batman DC absolute travesties that I think it was a brave choice for him to take on the Batman role because the fanboys of that particular genre that everyone loves, the comic book movies, he was always going to get dissed regardless. And I think he made a reasonable fist of it, but unfortunately the films just suck balls.
He's sort of well liked as a Batman. I think he's a different take on it, but he was supposed to write and direct the Batman solo film that actually was just recently done
with Robert Pattinson,
with Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson. That was actually originally was a Ben Affleck joint,
which could have worked. So I think that he was just.
I think he's at his best. I think he's at his best when he writes and directs. I think that's where he might be one of those guys. He's a bit of a control freak, but
I can't wait to see Air just for that reason. I think it's going to be really good. Good cast,
yeah, for sure.
Good cast and a good topic.
Yeah, great. It'll be great. That'll be a great movie.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Well done, Dan.
I think, you guys posed a couple of good alternates. Anyone else, just to round it off, that you think had a massive comeback? I mean, there's a lot of old Hollywood stories of people going away for decades and then resurrected by current directors, but it was more so, I guess, the power of these guys' talent that they were able to overcome Hollywood trying to discard them and toss them aside. So that were kind of the main reasons for the choices I made.
I think John Travolta is the standout. Like he's obviously well known for what he did, and he's probably come back and had his second half of his career was way better than his first half.
Sure.
And he had some hits in the first half, but yeah, no, I think you covered most of the bases.
The other one I'd say is Rob Lowe, because he had heaps of movies when he was younger. Then he had the sex tape scandal.
Yeah.
And that took him out for a long time until he came back.
So West Wing, I guess, really brought him back in a massive way. So that was one of the first premium prestige TV juggernauts, the West Wing. I still haven't completed it. Have you guys finished it?
No, I watched a lot of it, but no, I never.
I got into the second series, and I just, and everyone just says you got to stick with it, but who could be fucked?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, nice one. There we go.
All right. So don't go too far away, Dan, because strap on your singing shoes and move to the podium, please, because Daniel is up for Stan Bush, Kick-Ass, a credit song. Tell us a bit about it, Dan.
Well, I agree. I mean, Gow is Bernie Taupin in my eyes after last week's effort. And I think between the two of you guys, you as Elton John and the G-Man as Bernie Taupin, you could make a fairly classy piano bar singing lyricist and singer out of the two of you. But
the fabulous Baker
Boys.
Boys.
I do remember that I did come up with this particular segment, and the rules were that you need to spend only a couple of minutes on it. So I'm trying to stay true to my original premise for this, and really that's just me signaling that I'll never get as good as Gow as on the Bernie Taupins. But
Morgs, your last song took the fuckometer to a new level. Is this up the same?
Yeah, you better brace
up
yourself.
the same tree.
You know that I always, when I can't think of anything, I just replace it with gratuitous swearing so that I can giggle to myself. But it's not quite that bad this week. But I'm just going to take 30 seconds. I'm going to put you on mute because I cannot remember for the life of me the melody for this one. So just hang on.
I reckon it's going to sound like all the rest of yours.
Morgs, just get this in your head.
All right, I think it's going to be all over the shop. I really like the lyrics, but I can't remember the melody, so I'm just going to go for it. Now, I'll say the title at the end because, unfortunately, the title will give away the song. So, anyway, this is my Stan Bush kick-ass credit song for the week. Here we go. For Gone Girl, title TBC. Here we go. Pretending to be the cool chick, drinking beer, a keen interest in dick, a brownstone in NYC, a great sword and trust fund, baby. Buy a bar for my sister and me. Turn your cheek while some stonking Andy. But then comes the games and the traps, a murder scene and me the only suspect. But even now I can let more things slide. Go to my bar, drink free piss, worlds collide. There's one thing you did I truly detest. You fucked Doogie Howser to death! Fuck Doogie Howser to death! What a way for him to take his last breath. Fuck Doogie Howser, good night, ah! No chance at Scrabble and Octopus Euro delights, ah! Fuck Doogie Howser, he's spent! Amazing Amy ain't got time to repent! Because she fucked Doogie Howser to death! Oh yeah! What a way to go, no, yeah! Fuck Doogie Howser to death, yeah!
And what's the title of that song, Dan?
It's called Fuck Doogie Howser to Death.
Right, there we go. Well done. That was good.
What was that second line? She loves dick.
Drinking beer, a keen interest in dick.
A keen interest in dick.
Pretending to be
well done, Morgs. Well done.
That was very good, Daniel. Well done. Gow had a little bit of a moment over here. I had to put his microphone on the mute. I thought he was going to have a heart attack. Okay.
Oh, that was funny.
Yeah, let's slide into a star of the show, and this is interesting. When this is probably 6 or 7 people you could pick. Let's start with you, G. Who's your star of the show?
Oh, it is a tough one. I'm going to go with Detective Boney.
Yeah, good choice.
Yeah, between her and Margot.
Boney.
Just like the way she was just so dogged, but she wasn't an overplayed character. She did a job really well. She was after him, and then she was after the wife. I really enjoyed that role. I think she played it really well.
Yeah. What about you, Dan?
Yeah, I'm going to give it to Rosamund Pike. I think that this was a very difficult role to come across. I mean, this is essentially a mashup of every psychological illness that you could possibly put together, from narcissist disorder to every other one in the book. So yeah, I think she was excellent. I think the whole cast was excellent. I think obviously David Fincher and the production team for putting them together, and Gillian Flynn for writing the bad boy. But Rosamund Pike just stands out as central to this flick and an amazing performance.
Yeah, well, good call. Very good.
Yeah, look, Dan, I think every time we do a David Fincher movie, it's hard not to give it to David Fincher, but I'm not going to. I'm going with Gow here. I'm going with Kim Dickens. I'm going for
She's great.
Boney.
I love her. Yeah, she's fantastic.
This watch more than anything, I was into her so much. She was so good. She's so open-minded in a face of something that is so obvious that he's killed his wife, but she's not willing to admit that. And it's not until she's faced with the most critical proof that she then turns. But she's still willing to be open-minded the whole way through.
Yeah.
And she's so, I loved her. I think she was so good in this movie.
Very good
She's
character.
and same as with Margot. I think those two Margot's the emotional core of the movie, but it's really, I think it's really Kim Dickens that drives the plot. Like she's the one. I thought she was great, but it could have been anyone. It could very easily been Rosamund Pike, easily. Okay, so I really enjoyed Gone Girl. I've seen it a few times, but I seem to pick something new up. This time it was Kim Dickens. Like that was a surprise for me about how much I really enjoyed her performance. So a really good choice, I think, and one I think we all enjoyed. But before we get to the rank bank, we're moving into a new category, Dan. Yeah.
We tried this last week, but if you like this, what else to watch? So if you like this, what would the Born to Watch team suggest that you watch the other? So I guess for me, and I'll go first, but psychological thrillers was the name of the game for this one, and it really made me think of a young Matt White at Ringamal Twin, right, watching Fatal Attraction as a 10-year-old or 11-year-old or whatever you were. But no, that's not what I'm going to recommend. So there's two flicks that are out of the back of this, not necessarily the same, but just ones that this reminded me of as far as great psychological thrillers. First one's The Machinist with Christian Bale.
Wow.
Yeah. So Strangles, this is for you, mate. Go out and check it out. Like an incredible film. I'm actually going to watch it this week because it just made me think of it when I was thinking of this segment. So a huge physical performance from Christian Bale. The guy looks like Nixon when he's just going through his Monners phase, having Betty's burgers with lettuce leaves instead of buns. But yeah, he lost he must weigh about 50 kilos, Christian Bale, in this flick. But just an incredible performance and just a bit of a mind bender, and wait for the end for the twists, and just an incredible film. So the other one that this made me think about with such a talented cast in a psychological thriller film was The Talented Mr. Ripley, which again,
great movie.
If you haven't seen recently, revisit. It's a snapshot of young Hollywood stars about to just cut absolutely sick. Everyone from Matt Damon to Jude Law to Gwyneth Paltrow to Philip Seymour Hoffman to Cate Blanchett. Just this incredible cast that they just captured lightning in a bottle for the film, and just an incredible movie. And again, in that real psychological thriller subgenre that is worth a visit. So yeah, they're my two. I reckon The Machinist and The Talented Mr. Ripley. What about you guys?
You got anything, Are we moving on?
I think you could say The Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
That's a psychological thriller, and it's sort of a bit of a slow burn like this one where it's sort of coming around. You're not really sure. I mean, if you don't pick it.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's another movie like this where once you've seen it and you know what's going on, you're not going to get the same reaction out of it because
I think it becomes a different movie, though. I think you can.
It does.
It's a bit like when I watched Shutter Island.
Yeah.
And I knew once you know the twist.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Once you watch it again, you can't unknow what's happening. So the first time you watch it, you get that real, wow. But after that, you know what the twist is, right?
Yeah.
So,
what's cool about The Sixth Sense, though, I think, Whitey, you touched on it, then you can, once you know the twist, you actually just spend the film trying to trip them up to see where they may balls it up, which becomes a film within the film and something that's quite awesome. So, no, I agree, Gal. I
That's
think
fair enough.
That's a great watch, even if you know what's going on.
Okay, I've got three. First one is Fracture.
Oh, yeah.
Ryan Gosling,
Yeah.
Anthony Hopkins.
Excellent.
So Ryan Gosling plays a lawyer. Anthony Hopkins plays a man who's accused of killing his wife. And it is brilliant.
Good flick.
Really, really good. Actually, very similar tones to this movie, like very similar tones, and well worth watching. I think it's on Netflix. So have a watch of Fracture. You won't be disappointed. It's great. The other one is Prisoners with Hugh Jackman.
Oh, I haven't seen
directed by Denis Villeneuve.
Ooh, no, I haven't seen it.
Okay, well, Morgs, this is one for you this week. There's some homework for you. Hugh Jackman plays a father whose daughter is kidnapped, and he spends the movie trying to track down his daughter.
Jack Gyllenhaal, Paul Dano. Oh, Terrence Howard.
Paul Dano's in it. Paul Dano. Yeah.
Melissa Leo.
It has got.
Wow.
Melissa Leo plays an incredible character.
Holy moly.
It is Jake Gyllenhaal. It is great. It is so good. It is so heavy.
Wow.
And it leaves at the end of it, it leaves you wanting more and leaves you sort of demanding a resolution.
I'll check that
which
out,
is
sure.
powerful.
8.1 IMDb. Yep, that's in my wheelhouse.
It's all you're all over it, Dan.
Wow.
It's one of Denis' best.
Here we go.
And third and final, it's another Fincher joint. It's Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Mm-hmm.
The remake starring Daniel Craig and Rooney Mara, among others, Stellan Skarsgård. It is
What a
brilliant.
fucking good
Not
film.
not many movies are better than the original, and this is Fincher at his absolute best.
It's such a shame that it
And-
didn't make any brass and they couldn't do
Yeah.
the other two books. So
Yeah,
what a punish.
It is such a shame, but it is great. And if you've not watched it, this is on Netflix, and get into it because it is incredible.
No, I have to watch it. I read the book.
Oh, yeah, you got to
But
watch
I haven't watched the movie.
You
I
got
don't
to
think.
watch it. It is amazing. So good.
Can't remember watching it.
Okay, so let's move into the rank bank. Now, we all know the way this goes. We give this movie a score out of 5, and then we slip it into the rank bank and see where it sits. Now, there's a few choices today, and we'll start with, okay, straight out of the box, throat-slitting orgasms, woodsheds, box cutters, awkward shower scenes, side dicks, idiot neighbors, oblivious ex-boyfriends, and world-class vaginas. Thoughts?
It's world class vaginas to me, but it only just gets ahead of side dick.
We can run with that.
Yeah. Look, we all know. We all know my MO now. The one that I think's going to win goes last. But and to be perfectly honest, I just threw side dicks in there as an ad lib. Yeah. It's not on the sheet, but it's been we've said side dick about 17 times. Actually, we've said side dick more times than they said hooker in Pretty Woman. So we'll just put.
It's been a real theme for the movie for you tonight, hasn't it?
Yeah, oh, mate, it's blown me away. It's blown me away. Okay, so we've got world-class vaginas, and we'll start with you, Dan. How many world-class vaginas are you giving Gone Girl?
There is nothing bad about this film. It is super entertaining. It's David Fincher at the height of his powers. It's Ben Affleck doing a great job. It's some of the mirrors kind of Ben Affleck's personal life as well. Like you kind of like this guy, then you hate this guy, then you kind of like this guy. So I think he was very well cast. It's 4.5 world-class vaginas for me, and encourage you to go out and watch it if you haven't yet. Fucking do it, F-wits.
Very well done, Morgs. That's high for you.
That's a big score,
That's a big
Morgs.
score for Dan out of the blocks. Gow, what about you?
Yeah, look, good movie. Great to rewatch it, especially since I wasn't sure how it was going to pan out after not having seen it for a while. As we said before, I think they wrapped it up too quick, or they didn't explore a lot of that in the end. So it's 3.25. Sorry, 3.5 for me.
3.5. Wow, G-man, bringing the mean down. Okay, I loved Gone Girl. I love David Fincher. He hasn't really made a bad movie, apart from Benjamin Button.
Yeah.
I had this scored at 4. Then I heard Morgs is 4.5, and I'm now sitting on the fence. But I did change my score before he scored to 4.25. I'm going to stick with that. So I'm going to give it 4.25 world-class vaginas. This movie is excellent. It's eminently rewatchable, and I will visit it again. This shall not be, in the great words of Daniel Mark Morgan, Marie Kondo. This will see another day on my television.
Absolutely.
It is excellent, and if you have not watched this movie, you need to do something about that sooner rather than later. Now, Gow, let me just move this over so you can have a look, and you can tell us where Gone Girl sits in the rank bank.
You'll certainly fucked his average, G-man, with your appraisal of this film.
All right, we have Gone Girl at 4.08 WCVs. Right above Predator at 4.06 Ugly Motherfuckers, and just below Wolf of Wall Street at 4.
It's tied.
Oh no, sorry, it's tied with Wolf of Wall Street at 4.08 Lemons, just below Mad Max at 4.17 fuel injected suicide machines. So that puts us in spot number 15.
Yeah, okay.
That's a fair result looking at the movies around it, I think.
I got to say, like, we're not getting many wrong here, but is Gone Girl a better movie than Ghostbusters? Is it a better movie? Oh, look, I'm quite comfortable where it is.
Well, you've got above it, you've got Mad Max, The Guard,
Usual Suspects,
Ghostbusters, Full Metal Jacket. So it's got some competition up there.
It's sitting sort of squarely.
And I'll tell you what, it's not that far off being up a few spots higher.
Nah, there's not much in it. There's not much in it. Okay, well done. We're not getting it wrong. That's for sure. The gal, your 3.5, I think you might regret that a bit later on in life.
I don't regret it.
Okay. Well, what are we watching, gentlemen? We'll start with you, Gal, because this is your favourite part, and it'll be interesting to hear what you got to say for yourself.
I started last night The Last of Us.
Well done.
Great flick. Just got through the first episode. Long episode.
Yeah, hour 20.
Hour and 20. And then I think the next one's an hour and 12 too. But yeah, looking forward to seeing it. It's a really good start to that show. So I flicked that on last night.
Yep.
I think it's given me enough that I'm really, really keen to keep pushing on with it.
Yeah, excellent. No, it's excellent. I'm looking forward to going home watching episode 3 tonight, which is another long one. I think it's like an hour 20 again. What about you, Dan? What are you watching?
So, yeah, keeping up with that and Mayor of Kingstown, but I watched this cool documentary last night. Remember the band, the KLF?
Oh,
yeah. So I watched a documentary about them. It was on Canopy. So I don't know if anyone's got that, but very well worth a look. Very strange. Yeah, I didn't know the story behind the KLF and how. Anyway, go and check it out if you enjoyed their sort of the height of the KLF movement, where they were basically getting best band at the BAFTAs and at the Grammys were mentioned as well. Like they just had a moment, but the guys behind them, it was just a complete piss take essentially. So it's and then they just had controversy after that where they essentially burned £1 million, like took £1 million out of the bank from their proceeds from their band as the KLF, chucked it in a fireplace, burnt it, filmed it on a Super 8, and then see you later, we're not a band anymore. And then it just talks about the aftermath of that, of dealing with burning all your wedge, essentially. So didn't think it was going that way. Really, really interesting doco, so go and check it out. And I'm also reading The Passenger by Cormac McCarthy at the moment. So his first novel since The Road, which was turned into an amazing flick with Viggo Mortensen and the young Australian actor whose name escapes me at the moment. But if you like Cormac McCarthy books, it's very different. It's set in New Orleans, where I'm really big after my recent travels there. But it's check it out. It's very different to Cormac McCarthy's other books, which I love, but worth a read.
Excellent. I've got a couple. I've started with Isabel watching The Big Bang Theory again. So trying to find things that I can watch with my 9-year-old daughter. It's quite a lot of sexual innuendo, more than I remembered, but she's enjoying it. We also, I don't know if we talked about it last week, but we tried to watch Velma.
Yes. No, we talked about it we talked on the weekend.
Yeah, we did.
That.
So I tried to watch Velma with her. And if you have a child under the age of 15, do not let them watch Velma. It is not any good to start with, but it's
an adult show.
It's an adult show, 100%. There's nude scenes. There's a nude shower scene. They talk about lesbianism.
Is that film of the character from Scooby-Doo? Is that where it comes
from?
From
Scooby-Doo.
Right, okay.
It's a Scooby-Doo, yeah.
So it's done by Mindy Kaling.
Mindy Kaling. It's been panned, and I can understand why. Look, it's not great. I'm of course loving The Last of Us. Looking forward to watching episode 3. But I also watched one of the Best Picture Academy Award nominees, All Quiet on the Western Front on Foxtel. On Netflix. The new German movie, which is obviously the third iteration of it, and it's amazing.
Yeah, okay.
So it's well worth a watch. World War One, brutal, unbelievably filmed, great performances, and really worth a watch if you can spend 2.5 hours reading subtitles. It's well worth it. Okay, so that's going to bring us to the end. Good episode. What do you reckon, Gow?
Great episode. What are we doing next week?
I'm going to make a captain's call here because we didn't talk about it before. But I don't think that you will be disappointed. So next week, we're going back in time. We're going back in the time machine. We're going to do Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to attack a classic. Raiders of the Lost Ark. Steven Spielberg, Harrison Ford.
Karen Allen.
It's a great movie.
Yeah, I loved this when I was a kid.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I watch this semi-regularly. I've watched this a lot, so it'll be interesting to cast the critical eye over it this time and just see what we come up with.
Yep. Oh, that's a good one. Looking forward to that.
So Raiders of the Lost Ark next week, and I think then after that, we've got a few in the bag which are going to be pretty special, I think. But anyway, that's it from us this week. I've really enjoyed dissecting with the box cutter, Gone Girl, and get into it. So from me, it's bye for now.
Bernie Taupin, out.
You fucked Doogie Howser to death!
Thank you for listening to this episode of Born to Watch. To join us on our journey into some of our favourite movies of all time, you can find us on all good podcast networks like Spotify and Apple Podcasts. If you like what you hear, give us a 5-star review and share with your friends.